BS Zoology, 3rd semester, final term. Today we are going to discuss about the class Hexapoda from the phylum Arthropoda and subphylum Uniramia. As we have discussed before, subphylum Uniramia, in which members with head with one pair of antennae and usually one pair of mandibles. All appendages uniramous. Examples we have insects and their relatives. As we have come to know that Hexapoda or insecta belongs to subphylum Uniramia and phylum Arthropoda. Members of the class Hexapoda are, in terms of number of species and individuals, the most successful land animals. Many insects have wings and one pair of antennae, and virtually all adults have 3 pairs of legs. If we want to discuss about the structure in detail, the body of an insect is divided into 3 tegmata: head, thorax, and abdomen. The head bears a single pair of antennae, mouth parts, compound eyes, and 0, 2, or 3 ocelli. Ocelli are sensory organs. Thorax. The thorax consists of 3 segments. They are from anterior to posterior: the prothorax, the mesothorax, and the metathorax. One pair of legs attaches along the ventral margin of each thoracic segment, and a pair of wings, when present, attaches at the dorsolateral margin of the mesothorax and metathorax. Wings have thickened, hollow veins for increased strength. The thorax also contains 2 pairs of spiracles, which are opening to the tracheal system. Abdomen. Most insects have 10 or 11 abdominal segments, each of which has a lateral fold in the exoskeleton that permits the abdomen to expand when the insect has gorged itself or when it is full of mature eggs. Each abdominal segment has a pair of spiracles. Also present are genital structure. Genital structures used during copulation and egg deposition, and sensory structures called crysi. Gills are present on abdominal segments of certain immature aquatic insects. Now we have insect locomotion. Insects move in diverse ways. A hypothesis on the origin of flight states that wings may have evolved from rigid lateral outgrowths of the thorax that probably protected the legs of spiracles. Later, these fixed lobes could have been used in gliding from the top of tall plants to the forest floor. The ability of the wing to flap, tilt, and fold back over the body probably come later. Direct or synchronous flight mechanism. Some insects use a direct or synchronous flight mechanism in which muscles acting on the basis of the wings contract to produce a downward thrust, and muscles attaching dorsally and ventrally on the exoskeleton contract to produce an upward thrust. The synchrony of direct flight mechanisms depends on the nerve impulse to the flight muscles that must precede each wing beat. Examples we have butterfly, dragonflies, and grasshoppers. Next, we have indirect or asynchronous flight. Insects like flies and wasps use an indirect or asynchronous flight mechanism. Muscles act to change the shape of the exoskeleton for both upward and downward wing strokes. Dorsoventral muscles pulling the dorsal exoskeleton downward produce the upward wing thrust. The downward thrust occurs when longitudinal muscles contract and cause the exoskeleton to arch upward. Such properties of the exoskeleton enhance the power and velocity of these strokes. During a wing beat, the thorax is deformed, storing energy in the exoskeleton. At a critical point midway into the downstroke, stored energy reaches a maximum, and at the same time resistance to wing movement suddenly decreases. The wing then clicks through the rest of the cycle, using energy stored in the exoskeleton. Asynchrony of this flight mechanism arises from the lack of one-to-one correspondence between nerve impulses and wing beat. A single nerve impulse can result in approximately 50 cycles of the wing, and frequencies of 1000 cycles per second have been recorded in some birds, in some insects. The asynchrony between wing beat and nerve impulses is dependent on flight muscles being stretched during the click of the thorax. The stretching of longitudinal flight muscles during the upward beat of the wing initiates the subsequent contraction of this muscle. Similarly, the stretching during the downward beat of the wing initiates subsequent contraction of dorsoventral flight muscles. Indirect flight muscles are frequently called fibrillar flight muscles. Simple flapping of wings is not enough for flight. The tilt of the wing must be controlled to provide lift and horizontal propulsions. In most insects, muscles that control wing tilting attach to sclerotized plates at the base of the wings. Next, we have other forms of locomotions. Insects walk, run, jump, or swing across the ground or other substrates. When they walk, insects have 3 or more legs on the ground at all times, creating a very stable stance. When they run, fewer than 3 legs may be in contact with the ground. Fleeing cockroaches reach a speed of about 5 km per hour, although it seems much faster when trying to catch one. The apparent speed is the result of their small size and ability to quickly change direction. Jumping insects such as grasshoppers, usually have long metathoracic legs in which leg musculature is enlarged to generate large propulsive forces. Energy for a flea's jump is stored as elastic energy of the exoskeleton. Muscles that flex the legs distort the exoskeleton. A catch mechanism holds the legs in this cocked position until special muscles release the catches and permits the stored energy to quickly extend the legs. This action hurls the flea for distances that exceed 100 times its body length. Now we are going to discuss about the nutrition and digestive system in insects. The diversity of insect feeding habits parallel the diversity of insects themselves. Mouth parts of an insect such as grasshopper or cockroaches. These parts shows an upper lip-like structure is called the labrum. It is sensory and unlike the remaining mouth parts is not derived from segmental paired appendages. Mandibles are sclerotized, chewing mouth parts. The maxillae often have cutting surfaces and bear a sensory palps. Labium is a sensory lower lip. All of these aid in food handling. Variation on this plan are specializations for sucking or softening plant or animal foods. The digestive tract, as in all arthropods, consists of a foregut, midgut, and a hindgut. Enlargement for storages and diverticula that secrete digestive enzymes are common. Next we have